After living in America for 11 years, one would think that they would never be homesick again. At least I did. But I was wrong. And I feel homesick currently. When I first moved to America in 2015, I was homesick all the time. And it showed up in very simple ways. It would be in the food, the way the food tasted. I just did not like American food. It was very disappointing, especially when I tried KFC. I know some of y'all love KFC. It just was not it. Even in the water tasted very different. The weather, the conversations I had with people. And if you can't tell already from my accent, I'm clearly not American. So people always ask me where I'm from, and it was always a reminder that I am not home. So, to give you a little bit of context of where I'm from, I was born in South Africa and I was raised in Malawi. And when I was done with high school, my uncle, who's my dad's brother, decided to bring me to the US and I came to do my college here. Yeah, homesickness kind of felt very new to me. I had never lived so far away from home. I'd lived a little bit away from home. I went to boarding school, but there was always time to go home. It was never like the elements were there, like the elements of home were always there. So leaving Malawi was just a huge, huge shock to my system. Over time, homesickness started to dissipate. I eventually got busy. I got a job. I made friends. And school was keeping me busy. So the feelings and the thoughts of homesickness were dissipating. And at some point, I really thought that I had gotten over homesickness and it was a problem of the past. But I went to Puerto Rico a couple months ago. And not necessarily Puerto Rico itself reminded me of home, but there were elements of being in a foreign country that is not America that reminded me of home. Things like seeing chickens roaming around, the music, the vibe, the freedom that the people had, the niceness, the camaraderie, the welcome environment just reminded me of home. And since then, this feeling of homesickness is still lingering in my mind. So for the few weeks after the vacation, I kind of thought of what are some lessons that I can learn from this feeling of homesickness. The first lesson is you never stop belonging to your home country. So whenever you move, people usually assume that you have moved on from your country, you have moved on from the culture, from everything. You are starting a new life fresh in a new country. You're adopting the cultural norms. And to some extent, yes, I came here when I was in my 20s. So it was a period where it was a formidable year where I was trying to figure out myself, understand my personality, understand what I like, what I don't like. And yeah, I eventually carried on some of the American cultural norms. So, first lesson from this feeling of homesickness is that you never stop belonging where you come from. People normally assume that when you leave your home country and stay in a different country, you scrap everything, clean slate, and you adopt the new culture and everything. It kind of feels like you become a whole new person, but that's not the case. Yes, I've been in America most of my adult life. My routine is here. My job is here. I've built a life here. And I moved in my 20s, which are your most formidable years of your life. You're kind of like a Play Doh where you can be shaped by a lot of external influences, which that's what happened to me. But there is fingerprints, there is influence still of where I grew up in Malawi. And I'm constantly reminded about that in certain interactions with people. Like, for instance, I sometimes will crave Malawian music, but not a lot of people here listen to Malawian music unless you're a Malawian. Or sometimes it would be a joke, like it would be a memory of a joke, and then I'll know that not even my spouse will understand my joke. They will not understand the context of it, and it just is like it won't hit, But those things just don't disappear because you change an address. You are in a different country. They are still there with you. They're still in your heart. Instead of them making me feel alienated, they actually reminded me that I actually love being where I'm from. I love it. The next lesson, I think it's kind of obvious, but doesn't go without stating that being busy hides your feelings. So in my case, I just got so ingrained in the busyness of American life. I was working a full-time job, made friends, I was hanging out with friends all the time, hang out with family, picked up hobbies, and I just didn't give myself any room to think. And it's not until when I went on this vacation, when I had no deadlines, no one asking where I'm from, no one asking what I need, just the peace and quiet that I got from being on vacation was something that unlocked some of the feelings that I had not processed through. And the big one is the feeling of homesickness. And on vacation, I kind of realized something. I crave the feeling of belonging because, as I said before, there are certain things that trigger people asking me questions of where I'm from. And I noticed over the period of my life that I have not fully belonged to a place. So when my parents split, they were in South Africa, where my mom is from. And early on in my life, I moved from the birthplace to my dad's home country. And while in my dad's home country, I was constantly asked by my friends, my extended family, where I'm from. And it just was always a reminder that I am not from Malawi. I was not born in Malawi. And then in my 20s, I uprooted my life again and moved to America, and has been a reminder of not belonging in America. That busyness that I had initially could have not have gotten me to think about the craving I have for belonging. It's until now on vacation that I thought about it and have been able to pinpoint what my feelings have been. So yeah, busyness hides our true feelings. My third and last lesson: home isn't always just one place. It could be multiple places. For the longest of time, I thought that whenever someone asked me the question, where is home, I had to give them a clear answer. And I would think to myself that if I said home is America, I felt like I was betraying the traditions, the lessons, the values, my family, my education in Malawi, and everything. Like, I felt like I was betraying all of that. Home can be the place you were raised. It can also be the place where you've grown. It can be the place where you connected with people people who knew you when you were born, but also it can be with people you connected with when you were in your adult years. For me, South Africa and Malawi will always be home. Malawi, especially, it's where I learned my values, my faith, and I became the person that I was before the world expected anything from me. But America has become home too. It's a place where I've learned more about myself, become more resilient. I've made lifelong friends. I fell in love. I built a career. I've made such wonderful people. And that makes it home. So you don't have to erase the other for the other. You can love both of them. It can be equally, it cannot be equally, and that's totally okay. And honestly, this is for myself. Having two homes doesn't make you belong less. Doesn't make me belong less in Malawi. It doesn't make me belong less in America. It actually adds value to my life. It means that I've been able to experience life in a more diverse way, and actually makes me feel like my heart my heart has room to feel love for both places. When I first started making this video, I thought that it was just going to be about homesickness, the sadness, the loneliness that comes with it. But along the way, I realized that this is more so gratitude of belonging in two places, gratitude to know where I'm from, gratitude to know that I belong where I currently am. And it's special. It is special to be able to say that. If you've been struggling with homesickness, maybe it's that you shouldn't stop missing home. Maybe it's just that you should believe that you can belong to more than one place. You can take stock and remember and bask in the sweet memories of the places that you were, and take stock and memories of the sweetness of the place that you are currently. Take stock of the communities that have built you. Take stock of the community that's building you. Take stock of the people that built you. And take stock of the people that are currently building you. So it's nothing to feel guilty about, because at the end of the day, belonging or finding a home isn't a competition. You're not going to win a prize or anything like that, but more so a way just to be grateful, a way to show that you are capable of loving more than one place. And that's the end. So thank you for listening to my little spiel about homesickness, and I needed it. I needed to verbalize some of these things, some of these thoughts, and I hope that it was helpful for you too. Like, subscribe, and hope my content brings some value to your life. Okay, thank you guys.